Yo, 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 yo. What's good, my people? It is me, Jason Gooner, and we are back in the studio for another EPL review show. This time it's match week 22, and so we are back to discuss all the games, break down with a nice analysis, look at the stats, try to make sense of some of these results. And of course, for some, it was a much better week than for others. But amazingly, I think definitely for the first time, I never looked the stat up, but it has to be the first time in years that the top four teams going into the week all drop points at the same time. That is crazy. So we're gonna break it all down, talk about the big games, of course. The biggest one for the weekend, the Manchester Derby, definitely lived up, but not in the sense that we would have thought. Most of us would have thought that Manchester City would have won the game. I had it down for a draw, but Manchester United really, really dominant in their performance, and I think a lot of Man U fans that I know felt so vindicated with that performance and that way that Manchester United played, because a lot of them were saying the first thing needs to happen is just stop playing the formation that they're playing. And they went into a different formation, and trust me, it was like night and day. Now, they had been creating chances under the previous manager, but they looked at shambles in transition and on defense. And it was much better this go around. And I think a lot of that was due to the formation change. Of course, there were other games that had a lot of big news in them. I think today we saw an excellent game in the Bournemouth Brighton game. Bournemouth, trying to put the pieces together after losing Semenyo, but they had a decent game. And Brighton, of course, like normal, the coach makes some tactical tweaks, a few subs, and they start to play much better in the second half. They've done that all season, just about. We've talked about it here on the channel, and not it was the same today. And of course, if you're gonna get a late goal, some late drama, you'd want it to be much like what we saw from Castulas today with a bicycle kick. Yeah. Rosinha got his first win in the Premier League, beating Brentford. But are the fans and the Chelsea people convinced that Rosinha is the man? That's what we need to talk about. And of course, Arsenal went to the City ground, after seeing City lose, wanted to take advantage, and again, people, the Gunners fall and don't take full advantage. Now, still gain a point, and shockingly, both of our nearest competitors, because Aston Villa at home lost to Everton, people. Craziness. So a lot of madness this week in terms of, upsets, as you would call them, underdogs getting the win. Wow. Watching this college football game, it's 10-7 Indiana now. But I'd rather Miami win, but I do think Indiana is going to win. But I'd much rather Miami win, though. Oh, what a sack. Bless me. So big up to each and every one of you tuned in. Jason Gooner TV back with some more review convo. Buenos Boss, and with the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, QBIU. Well, we shall see. Yeah, man, people. So I could get right into it now. Premier League, 10 games this weekend. So tonight's show, of course, please support by hitting the like button, share the content, subscribe, please, and thanks. If you're new to the channel, definitely find the subscription button, turn on the notification bells. It's a place where we basically study football and we talk about it, preview the EPL, review the EPL, also cover the Jamaican teams as well, even though I haven't covered our friendly we had yesterday at all. I will have some thoughts on that forward in this week, and just overall thoughts on the direction and where we're at with that. But for tonight, focus will be on the EPL. So obviously it's the review show, match week 22. We have full match analysis. We're going to do the score prediction results. this week, boy, it was rough for all competitors. You see me? It was not the best showing from the people them that played this week. But yeah, there were a lot of people fighting basically to get the donkey, and whoever won this week should not feel that great because it wasn't that good, you know. But anyway, let us move right into the game breakdowns. And tonight, of course, we're going to talk about FPL and my FPL in particular being in the mud. Just started out great, but coming like Arsenal for real. All right, let us pull up the first match of the week. And of course, that was the Manchester Derby. So, all the Manchester United fans, this is probably the best you'll ever hear me talk about your club ever. So, tune in or, click that part. Yeah. So, you have it. All right. So, first, let's get this on the screen. People, please do smash the like button, share, sub. I know it's kind of late in the Monday night, yeah, but mans didn't really have no time. So, we had to do it when we could. But it's out there. People can watch it back. You don't know. Let's see. All right. So, these are the lineups right here. Make sure this is okay, cool. Yeah, so clearly you can see the formation shift 4-2-3-1. Similar to what Fletcher would have been doing, but did get the boost of getting back Amad Diallo and then Boom back from the AFCON, and they come right into the starting lineup. I was surprised. I thought Cunha would definitely start. I figured Sesko would be on the bench, but I did think that Cunha would start somewhere. But he went for this, opted for this up front, and I think based on the fact that the two wingers that I didn't think would start stayed on for 90 minutes plus, that just shows you that whatever the tactic was, those two were executing it. And I would have to agree with the manager because I thought the front four in particular was really, really good. I mean, big kudos as well to Meno and Casemiro. But to be honest, there wasn't a Man U player that played in this game that you could really say didn't do their job and do it, relatively well. I thought that definitely Mbuemo was a problem for most of the game. Dorgu, excellent. But Bruno Fernandes, as usual, best player on the park for Manchester United. Had the assist to Mbuemo on a great counter move. And then, Carrick could do no wrong. Mbuemo gets the first goal and then he subs off. Was excellent while he was on the field. But, good management. The guy coming back from AFCON, played a lot of minutes at AFCON as well. So he got him out for Cunha. Quality comes in. Could have brought on Sesko in the moment there as a like-for-like striker for striker, but opted to stay with a more a player that's going to play outside the width of the 18 if necessary. Really run those channels, and that's what Cunha gives you. And it was him running the right channel that set up the second goal for Dorgu, who was excellent as well. So, just the shape of the team, they just look a lot more comfortable with the personnel they have. The fact that Menu played the entire game is really and truly, this game almost felt like Carrick is just giving an ultimate FU to the old coach. Because almost all the things that Man U fans typically, for the most part, would have been asking for. Change to a back four. Play Bruno in the 10 and not deeper in the midfield. Give Kobe Menu some playing time. Just play him in the midfield, right? And I think also getting Mbuemo a chance to play here, and I could see in the way they were playing, he could have played Mbuemo after, right? But he knew that he was going to ask Mbuemo a lot in terms of tracking back. And we saw Diallo do that to make sure that Diallo was not overloaded. And I think that, one thing that played into Man United hands as well in this game that I have to point out, Man City typically under Pep, always the wingers are gonna hit the touchline. There's gonna be chalk on their boots. This season, I've seen a tweak in Pep's system where he's giving the wingers a lot more freedom in the build-up phase. Even in the attacking third, they can start wide, but they can drift inside, and for prolonged periods they stay inside. They don't really go right back out to the touchline. So knowing that, I think Carrick made sure that the team was very compact, very narrow, because he pretty much knew that in that middle channel of the field, or that middle third of the field, when you break it up into thirds from left to right wing, that was predominantly where City was going to want to do their damage. And keeping the team compact just made sure that the numbers, were never stacked too far out of their favor. So I thought every button that Carrick press seemed like the master button, the best thing you could have done. And it definitely countered a lot of the things that Pep was going to do. But Pep, again, to me, a bit strange, some of the things he did. So I've been talking a bit now about Pep kind of being different this season in terms of like playing the same 11 like over and over and over and over again, right? And so this game now, he kind of couldn't do it because there was no Nunes in the roster, which I don't know why Nunes wasn't around. I mean, he's not listed as injured or anything. I was kind of surprised by that. But yeah, he wasn't there. So they played Rico Lewis at right back, who I thought was poor. And he didn't start Nico O'Reilly. Maybe minutes, a lot of minutes he's played. And like I said, they haven't been changing much in terms of the team selection. O'Reilly been playing with the two centre backs, Nunes at right back. Of course, now the two centre backs are out, so Kusanov and Elaine kind of have to play. He wasn't there in time. That should be finalizing, I think, this week. So he should be available for the weekend, I would think. And then Nathan Ake at left back when he had O'Reilly on the bench. So the fact that he made all these changes was kind of strange to me. I always thought as well that he was probably going to play one of Semenyo or Doku. So I was kind of surprised that he went with this. And then add to that he's playing Silva and Foden in that central area. So one of those two have to kind of help Rodri. And neither one of those two you really want helping Rodri to do any kind of defending. So I just thought the team was a bit unbalanced from Pep, which was strange because he normally balances it a bit better. It will be even Silva or a Foden off the right, a more ball retaining type of player. And he opted for the two kind of up and down wingers, which I thought just played into the hands of United, who clearly were going to play counter-attacking style. So I thought getting more control would have been better for Manchester City, but they opted to, try to. It's almost as if their tactics were set up like they were going to play a back three when they played a back four. Because I think if they played the same way with the old system, they probably exploit them more. But in this particular game, they did create their chances, but for a regular City performance, it was down. And I think that was a lot of that was due to the good tactics that Carrick put out for them in this game. Very, very impressive. And of course, they do play Arsenal next, so not the two easiest first games for the manager, but he definitely has figured out a blueprint to beat Manchester City. So, I'm sure he'll be studying Arsenal now and see what he can do. And of course, we know that Man U is out of every cup and they're not in Europe, so they will be able to, study film for the week while Arsenal make the trip to Italy to play Inter Milan in the San Siro. So, advantage to them there as well. But not looking too far ahead. Really just want to stick on this game. Bruno, Dorgu, like I said earlier, very good. And Mbuemota was really good. And definitely the Butcher as well. There was a play in particular. Martinez is behind Haaland and somehow with his size is able to body him out of the way and get a foot on it in an aerial. And, it's just this guy's strength is ridiculous, and he's definitely add something to that United backline just being there. And Maguire was solid as well too. So yeah, definitely things looking at least a little bit better for Manchester United now. And I think just the change of style, the change of system, the change of formation is going to help them a lot. I think their players suit this formation a lot more. So we'll see if they can create something sustained with those positions from fourth down to 10th, basically ninth, being so close. If United can put together some good results, before you know it, they'll be right there in that top four race. So, and like firmly in it as well. So, big win for them. Manchester City now failing to win in 4 EPL matches, 3 draws, and now a loss added to the 3 draws. So yeah, 3 points from a possible 12. Not many times under Pep Guardiola has something like that happened in the Premier League, but it's definitely not looking good right now for them. I think the back line definitely struggling. Gahey, by all intents and purposes, will be a City player. We just don't know how soon. But yeah, he can't come soon enough. And it would have been nice for City if he could have brought like a couple more defenders with him as well. But yeah, these were the stats for the game. 2.27 expected goals for United. City all the way down at 0.45, and United didn't care about the possession because, as you can see, the threat was not there. Under 0.5, that's not good. 6 big chances created by United to none. 11 shots for United, 7 for City. 5 saves had to be made by Donnarumma, so definitely earned his keep. A lot more passes attempted by City. You see the tackles United had more. 7 shots on target as well. Only 1 shot on target for City, bro. That's not good. Twice they hit the woodwork. Had some offside goals as well. They missed 4 big chances. So it could have been way worse, honestly. 1 through ball, okay. Touches in opposition box. Fall in the final third. 59 to 50. So 9 more entries for City. United had a better duel percentage. And 1 goalkeeper prevented goals and 1 was in the negative for that. 2 big saves from Donnarumma though. 1 error leading to shot from Man. Yo. So Manchester United did it, people. And them go to the Etihad and straight up beat them. Straight up. Miami, I drive down the field easy. Mm. Hold on, the people. Mm? Hold on there. Oh, go on. Oh, go on right now, brother. Yo, YouTube are going mad, people. I don't know what really are going, brother. YouTube is moving mad. YouTube. Yo, man, tell you. All right, so 2-0 to Manchester United. We never saw this one coming. Me personally, I never saw it, but I don't think any of us saw any of this coming this weekend based on how bad these picks were. All right, so let's move on to Chelsea and Brentford. So this was one of, I think, 5 games at this time. I did watch a good portion of this particular game. I was going between this and the Liverpool game more than any of the others. So I would have a much better knowledge of those two in particular. But yeah, Chelsea won the game 2-0, people. But it was much more even game. It was a much more even game. And this tells you the story. Man of the match, sofa score rating wise, 8.7 Robert Sanchez. So that should tell you how this game truly went. Let's look at the stats before we look at the lineups this time. So a 54% to 46 in favor of Brentford, which is kind of amazing. When you think about Chelsea playing at home against a Brentford team that is definitely a counter-attacking team, don't really want the ball per se, and they go into Stamford Bridge and they outpossess Chelsea. That would have never happened under Maresca. So that just goes to show, like, you know, they're definitely different. Definitely different. But that was something that was kind of striking to me, that they would have less possession. Chelsea, slightly better expected goals, 1.59 to 1.52. Brentford did create one more big chance. It was 3-2 there. Brentford outshot Chelsea 15-6. The keeper didn't make any saves for Brentford. 6 saves made by Sanchez. Passes pretty close, about 60 yard apart. 60 exactly, actually. No, 70. Sorry. 17 tackles, 14. Okay, free kicks, yellow cards. Shots on target, 5-2 in favor of Brentford. They hit the woodwork with Brentford. Big chance missed. 1. Chelsea missed 3 big chance. Sorry, Brentford. My bad. Shoot it blue, you know. Chelsea had the better duel percentage. Brentford had 22 more entries throughout the game. Final third entries. Yes, if you didn't know which team was which, would you think that the 2-0 team was on the left of these stats or the right? Miami drive right down the field and score. Jeez. All of a sudden, points start scoring at the game. Fourth quarter just start. All right, let's go. Look like this one going down to the wire. Miami plus 7.5, brother. That seemed like a soup. But Vegas always know something when me don't know. So let's see. All right, so that was the stats for the game. Let's look at the lineups: 4-2-3-1s, matching formations for both teams. Rico Henry start again, so that's another start in the bank for the Reggae boy. Lasted 82 minutes as well, not bad. But you see Chelsea, no, we didn't see Reece James or Cole Palmer in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, but now we see them in the Premier League in the next game. And Reece James played 85 minutes and Cole Palmer played the entire 90. Liam Delap came back. Tosin was actually having his best game, and he had to come off injured. Sad for him. The attack Garnacho was poor. Missed an easy goal as well. A tapping. Couldn't convert it. Came off. But yeah, the story of this is just not the scoreline. If you watch this game for long periods, Brentford looked like the more comfortable team. They had some really good chances. I think Thiago probably wants back 2 chances he got, and based on his form, I mean, he's been burying those type of things this season. They count only one. That's probably the header, which was for him, a very, very good chance and not the best of misses in terms of missing everything there. But Igor Thiago, one of his lowest rated games. João Pedro with a true striker's goal, something that people don't think he might not have the best instinct as a striker, but even though it was deemed offside at first when you look at the replay, it was onside and it was just sharp from him, a control, set his body and swing that, as they call it, the swinger. Because he's not left footed, but he did strike and connect that perfectly. Kelleher couldn't really catch up to that ball, the pace on the ball. So that made it 1-0. And then mix up at the back. Kelleher is forced to try to win the ball and ends up taking out the player. And Cole Palmer stepped up to convert that to make it 2-0. And really and truly, that kind of flatters Chelsea on the day. I think Brentford at least was good value for a goal, but it wasn't meant to be for them. So yeah, but it was a very, very tight game, I thought. I thought Brentford had really long spells that were great. Chelsea had some good spells of their own as well, but I have to say, just on the balance of the play, that 2-0 is one of the more flattering score lines. And let's just see. I mean, it looks like Rosinia is at least willing to, try to change up on playing to prevent the opponents from doing things. Maresca was definitely much more, his way, his way, his way. So that could be a good thing. But I think a lot remains to be seen with this Chelsea team. Good win for them. And they did have a somewhat decent performance against us in the Carabao Cup, but the consistency for me is what will always set them apart and will cause them trouble. Brentford has made a rapid rise up the table, so they probably knew that they had to be on point. But when Chelsea's playing a team that say, 18th, 19th, what kind of Chelsea do you get? So that's something to watch moving forward. Can Chelsea earn, or not earn, but can Chelsea display the type of consistency that in the end would get them into Europe? We'll have to do a wait and see what's going on there. People, remember, please do smash up the like button, share, and subscribe. Let the people know so we're there. All right. Moving right along. Chelsea with the 3 points. 3. All right. Leeds and Fulham. This one came down to a 91st minute goal by Lucas Mecha, and it was probably what they deserved based on their second half performance. I thought in the first half it was a much more even game. I don't think either team really did enough to get on the score sheet, but definitely in the second half, Leeds and for a brief spell, I'd have to say Fulham did look like they might score, but Leeds definitely had the better play overall, I thought. Let's see if the stats paint the same picture. Fulham slightly better position, 54-46. Expected goals, Leeds at 1.43 and Fulham at 0.39. They did create 5 big chances as well, and that will do it. But like I said, first half only one. Second half is when they went crazy. Really good second half performance, and Ellen Road is just loud. Trust me, when them get into it, bro, it's loud over there. Well loud. Indiana drive again. Defenses can't stop each other. Can't stop the offense them. 14 shots to 8. Okay, passes. Nice. Total shots. 5 shots on target to 1. Inside, outside. 1 big chance scored. 4 big chance missed by Leeds. Horrible. More touches in the box of the opponent. They did win the final third entries 55-48. So yeah, Leeds good value for the win, man. Proving to be really difficult to beat at Ellen Road. They've gotten some good draws there. But yeah, Fulham, typical, take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 3 steps forward, 1 step. Always taking these step backs. But yeah, tough place to go, man. Ellen Road is not going to be an easy place for anybody that goes there. The atmosphere is electric over there, man. Mad. Very, very loud fans. So this is a part of that top 4 that I was saying did not quite get over the line in terms of maximum points in match week 22. Bless up in a jam rock. Hope you're good in my G. Well, they discuss the weekend, the EPL weekend, and I would a reason. All right, so Liverpool 1, Burnley 1. The Liverpool fans sick to them stomach, brother. Arsenal drop points, City drop points, and Liverpool drop points as well. Yeah, it's true, people. Let's look at the stats for the game and see how we got here. So Liverpool, as expected, dominate possession 73-27. Also, high expected goals 3.18 to only 0.40 for Burnley. 3 big chances Liverpool were able to create. They had 32 shots to only 7. Burnley goalkeeper Dubravka had 8 saves in total. 500 more passes attempted by City. Wow. I mean by Liverpool, sorry. 11 shots on target to 1. 3 big chance miss. Man, they miss everything. 3 big chance miss. Touches in the final in our position back 78. Wow. 80 final third entries to 35. All them entries and just a Florian Wirtz goal to score for it before Marcus Edwards, formerly of, I think he was at Sporting, Yard Youth. At least that's what we were told, but I don't think it's true. But yeah, 1-1 Liverpool, Burnley 1-1. Burnley do it again, getting points. This was the starting lineup for both teams. Curtis Jones, Wirtz, Gravenberg, Konate. So a good game from Wirtz, pulling the strings. Good finish as well. After Ekitike did a madness by the corner flag to get free. But yeah, in the end, Liverpool tried their best. I mean, they were really pressuring them to get the 2-1 win. And it just felt kind of inevitable that they would. But in the end, they did never find it. And this one did end 1-1. So disappointment for Liverpool. And soon we look at the table and see how much that will affect Liverpool for real. DJ Giggs, blessings to you, my G. Apache in the building, bless ups to you as well, bro. Let me see. All right, so let's take a look at the stats for the game. We already looked at the stats for this game. All right, yeah, so Liverpool, Burnley. Ekitike is a baller. I'll tell you that right now. Really like that player. And Wirtz, even though he started off on the right-hand side, you see the heat map. Definitely a bunch of freedom, which I think is what he actually needs. When Rio came on, he was off the left here. So Gakpo kind of stays on this side, cuts into the box. Other wing. Touches here, yes. But a lot of it on this side right here in the half space. Gravenberg, I think, getting back to his last season form of late. Playing a lot better. But yeah, Allison, low marks for you. What you do? Just goals prevented. Damn. But yeah, Robertson, McAllister, Rio, Chiesa. Youngsters after that, and Joe Gomez and Endo, the backup keeper. Edwards, bro. Marcus Edwards. Cyprus. Cyprus, you know. Man at 27 now. Third and 5. Nope. Field goal for them. Yo, 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 yo. You don't what? I don't what? I don't know where I try saying no gigs. Where I say? Bashir Humphries, you know. Go play. 22 years old still. Damn. Chelsea youth. Is it just me or the Liverpool manager don't get the same pressure like the manager that from the same country he is from, even though the Liverpool manager got a big team built for him? Is it just me or the Liverpool manager don't get the same pressure like the Man United manager from that same country he is from? Okay. Okay. So you're saying why the Liverpool manager now not one bomber? Yo, the man not dead. Yo, man, those are those do a madness a while ago still, you know. Look like Gunner's boss was right. Yeah, so yeah, say, well, I think it might be a fan culture thing, maybe. Like, are the Liverpool fans as ruthless with the manager as like Man U fans? Also, you know, he's coming into an era at Liverpool where, you know, they might not have won the Premier League as many times as Klopp would have wanted, but they won multiple. Well, did they win multiple? They won the Champions League. They've won other trophies, you know, in that time. It's been a successful time. So I think just by virtue of that, yeah, he has a pressure, but it's a little different. It's like, you know, we've won things recently, you know, and I also think like he kind of took pressure off himself by winning the first year because, but yes, he got Klopp's team, but Klopp had that same team, right? Klopp had that same team and didn't win the Premier League a whole bunch of times. So, you know, what are you gonna do? I feel like is the toxic nature of Manchester United right now. Anybody going that job, it's gonna be just any little thing you do a problem, and you know, the fan is more like how Arsenal is right now. Like, let's say Arteta was, because Arteta get beaten a lot because they don't win the league yet, right? Rightfully so. And him do some bonehead stuff and him don't rotate the way he should and all these things, right? But imagine if Arsenal was in, I don't know, finishing 15th, not winning any cups, just finishing close to relegation, just nowhere near Europe, whatever. It would be death. It would be just like how the energy was for Amarim, just like how the energy was for oh my boy, the name Ten Hag, you know. For example, ESPN people them used to beat him, which not Man U fans, most of them. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I can't stand those ESPN panelists, to be honest. I mean, a few of them okay, but for the most part, they need a rebrand. They need some new voices, you know? No disrespect, but well, some of them need to just hang it up at this point. The game past them, you know? But yeah, I think Man U and Arsenal, Chelsea, those three clubs, like, well, not even Arsenal, because Arsenal not going to fire the manager if them like them. But Chelsea and Man U, yeah, the fan base is mad all over things, just just want to find out everything about the club, and then the ownership will fire your ass if you don't do your job properly. So yeah, what I want to ask those people, we were clowning Verts for a long time this season. Is it time to kind of say, okay, maybe we judged him too soon, or what are you thinking about Havertz, about Verts now? That's up to what, 3 goals and an assist in the Prem in 21, a goal and assist in one appearance in the FA Cup so far. He has 2 assists in the Champs League, and he did get an assist in the Community Shield too. So far this season, him got 4 goals, 5 assists in 28 appearances in all comps. If you look on this season and you say, what's he doing in the Prem? 21 appearances, 17 starts, a team of the week once, 3 goals, 1 assist now for him. So not prolific, but you can definitely see, like, all right, let's say 22 Premier League games play in the first 11, 12 or so. I would say, we never saw anything from him really of note. But I think he has, like, grown in stature in the team and also grown in comfort on the field, just like adapting. You don't see as many times a looser touch that's getting toe poke away or they tackling from him. It's really, he's getting a hang of where he can find space when he need to speed up himself to kind of just get past people. I just think he's more comfortable overall, and I feel like, yeah, it's gonna be a good end to the season for him because you can just see the confidence growing. Ooh, Marseille this week, that should be nice. Marseille hosting Liverpool this week in Champions League. What day is that game? Watch along, man. 21st. That's Wednesday. My G. Yo, people. Yeah, I might have to run out with the Marseille Liverpool, Might have to, man. I might have to, man. Yeah, we might have to run out for that, people. That's gonna be a nice one. All right, so 1-1, Burnley Liverpool. I don't understand that draw at all by Liverpool, but I just feel like it wasn't enough. Normally a game like that when Liverpool is 1-1 and they're looking for it, they just overwhelm the other team with chances, and they could not quite get that to that level, in that game, and I think that's why they just ran out of time. Bless up, Jagan. So I go on, my G. Hope all is well. Hope all is well, my brother. Big up yourself each and every time. Legend. All right, so Premier League round 22. Sunderland do it again. Forward from behind, and they win the damn game. Sunderland had higher possession, better expected goals. They had one more big chance created, even though they conceded 2 big chances. They had 7 more shots. Their goalkeeper was less busy. Both teams had 3 yellow cards, so it was quite spirited. 7 shots on target to 2 for Sunderland. Hit the woodwork 1 time. Missed 2 big chances, scored 1. Both big chances missed on the day by Crystal Palace. Entries were dead even, 62 to 62. Sunderland did win the duels, which they tend to do more often than not. And a very high tackle percentage as well. Both teams made 1 error that led to a shot. And that was the stats. Let's look at the lineups for this one. Mundell had to come off injured late in the game, but only 2 subs made by Labrie. Sticking to his starting players. Talby and Diarra were still on international duty, as was Ismail Assar for Crystal Palace. Look at that injury list. Gahey was unavailable for other reasons. But you see the back line, Lacroix, Lerma, Richards, so a makeshift left centre back there in Lerma. Devaney and Wharton had forgettable days. Will Hughes, Tyreek Mitchell, Brennan Johnson, all substandard in this game. Really, Pino, Chris Richards, probably the 2 best that played for them in this game. And Glasner was pissed after the game. Not pissed, but he basically was saying, look, they probably asked him, why are you not making any subs in the second half? You could see people were tired. He said, look, man, I have kids. None but kids. But I disagree with him. He could have brought on Uche, right? He could have brought on Borna Sosa. That ain't the kid. Canvo is an actual defender. He could have played him. Then he would have had an option to bring on Lerma for one of the dog-tired midfielders that they had in this 4 right here. But yeah, I think a part of it and why he's doing it like this is just out of protest, to be honest. That's why I don't think, even though he announced that he's leaving in the summer, I don't believe that he should be around the team until the summer, because he can just try things knowing that he'll be gone anyway. So that's my take, though. If a man saying we're gonna leave the coaching position in the summer, would you want that coach to keep coaching until the summer? Like, I don't know, man. I guess you have to know the person's character still, but boy, sure, I'm gonna tempted for just throw all of the game. Something I know I'm gonna do that. Brian Brabby, the Dutchman, scored a wicked goal. Pino scored a deft finish after a corner, punched out, but not far enough. Somehow he redirected it perfectly, and then the first goal by Sunderland, wicked interplay in the midfield. Of course, you know who plays the through pass that opens it all up, Granit Xhaka. And then the cross from Mukiele was on point. Brabby had good awareness to leave it, and Lefe again scoring at the stadium at light. And then in the second half, Brabby was able to finish it off with the go-ahead goal. I think, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So Brabby tried run off what was going on, but he had to come off. Miami score again. Damn. This game turned into a shootout, man. But Sunderland, Crystal Palace, bro. Telling you. Let me check the stats. Oh, we already looked at this already. I keep doing this. Yeah, 62 apiece, yeah. But that was a good game, man. It was a good game. But I think this game was a little bit better. So this was Tottenham versus West Ham. You see the expected goals for both teams. So West Ham, based on the expected goals, they deserve winners. Another home defeat for Thomas Frank and Spurs. It's ridiculous. It's getting crazy now. 4 big chances created by West Ham, 3 for Tottenham. You see the saves, you see the corner kicks, passes in favor of Spurs to be expected. 6 shots on target to 4 in favor of Spurs. Let's see. Missed 3 big chances, man. What a waste. What a waste. In the end, they won the game, so they don't care. 64-37. Wow. Big advantage in the entries for Brighton at their home pitch. Duels are about even, 51-49. And a much better tackle percentage when you're looking at the players from Tottenham compared to West Ham. Tottenham, West Ham, man. This is how the teams lined up. Castellanos and Felipe from the start. They didn't make it the whole game, though. Callum Wilson, who I thought was out the door, back in the fold, comes on, scores the winning goal in the 92nd minute, I believe, 93rd. But yeah, another toothless display, really and truly, from Spurs. I mean, they did create it here and there, but I don't know, man. It's almost like I'm wanting more. I know I'm not going to get any more. But West Ham, trust me, you guys, I did see today that Thomas Frank, will continue to be backed by the club. So no, he won't get fired. So somebody hide that news from Expression so him don't find out and crash out. Big up to Expressions, brother. That guy create a lot of entertainment for me, I swear. So big him up anytime, every time, wherever I'm there. All right, so Spurs, West Ham, madness. Everybody thought it would finish a different way, except for the genius himself, me. I said 2-1 to West Ham because Tottenham is shite. And that's literally what happened. Frank did make 4 subs. Solanke still trying to work his way back. There was a Yves Bissouma sighting. I hadn't seen him forever. Jed Spence had to come on early in the game for Ben Davies. And Lucas Berval came in the 90th minute for Odebeer. But Callum Wilson, the story here, 1-1 comes on. Thought of a scramble in front of the goal on a corner, but Callum Wilson, the poacher that he is, carves out some space for himself and knocks it in. And that gave them the win, big win away from home. And, just gave them some hope. I think Nuno and the fan base definitely were kind of I just feel like it was just a dark cloud over everything. So this was a much, much needed victory. And I think both clubs were looking at this game as something that they could get something from. And Nuno and his staff and his players were able to be the ones to do so. So Tottenham losing again. We'll look at the table in a minute, but they're approaching like levels of losses in one season, I think. Definitely when it comes down to at home. But we'll check all of that in a minute. But key storyline here, West Ham break their duck for a while. And Callum Wilson, who was looking to be out the door, I think re-signed due to, what the club is looking like right now. And with that, scores the winner to make it 2-1 over Tottenham away from home at the Spurs Stadium. So madness, 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 but West Ham pull it out in injury time. Forest and Arsenal, I don't really want to talk about that game, yeah? That game, yeah, sure. Arsenal had the better percentage. You see the XG over 2, below 0.5 at 0.34 for Nottingham Forest. We had 4 big chances. We had 9 more shots taken, 15-6. 170 had more passes attempted. Had more tackles. We only had 3 shots on target from our 15. That's been an issue. Big issue. A big issue. "36 touches in opposition box. Not high enough." They actually had 2 more entries than us on the day. That should tell you. We don't even want to enter the final third with the football ever. We just want to put it up there. Jeez. Very close in long passes. We took 1 more cross, but was a lot more successful doing them. What's that? 109 to okay. But yeah, this game just really pissed me off more than anything, man. Cells had a blinder though. I have to give him credit. He was looking a lot more like the Cells of last year than this year. But this was a starting lineup that was employed by both. You see on the left, Nottingham Forest. Back four and goalkeeper pretty much I would think would be it. Sangare recently back from playing for Ivory Coast in the AFCON, or Cote d'Ivoire, as I should call it. He got the start, had a good game as well. Elliot Anderson, though, I think was the best player in the park, if you ask me. Him and Sangare formed a very good partnership, but Anderson was the one doing much more of both. So he was getting about putting tackles in and also, giving the team that attacking impetus by setting the table to the Gibbs Whites, Dominguez, and Hudsons, and even Jesus of the world, or sometimes just doing it himself and driving with the football. So Elliot Anderson just a player that I have a lot of time for. I see him playing and I wonder to myself, could a role like what Declan's playing be better suited for someone like Anderson, who, for me, in open play, is a much better attacker than Declan Rice with the football at his feet. Declan Rice is probably better at finishing actions, but Elliot Anderson definitely as a play setter, I think he could do the job. And I think he has the work rate that's required to, play the role how Arteta wants it to be played. I just don't know if with Zubimendi and Rice there, I don't know if he comes, like if an Anderson was to come, where would Arteta probably put him? I'm thinking where Rice plays, but he might have different ideas. I don't know. Actually, I do know his ideas are going to be different. But yeah, Forest, look, man, to me, Arsenal deserves a win more, but I'm not going to sit there and say, boy, I don't know. We still should be doing more in the game for me, like stats wise, everything. Gyökeres had another stinker. And I know a big, 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 big talking point in this game, which we can talk about here. I'll just ask it straight up. I'll just ask it straight up. Hold on, let people answer this. Yeah, so what you guys think about the non-call Ola Aina in the corner? Looks like he's playing basketball or some sport where you use your hand. And the ref, I think what I heard from the VAR was hand was in a natural position, and there's also some contact from his own player that kind of influences where his hand moves. I don't know, man. It looks to me like the ball's about to go out for a corner, and Aina and Elliot Anderson know the danger, because Anderson's leg is like behind where his hand would have been, like, or beside it. And he's also shielding the ball to make sure that it doesn't go out for a corner. So I just think it was panic stations from Ola, and he had a little moment in his brain that didn't quite work out, and he handled the ball, and it was on purpose. I mean, you could see like there's like a still shot of when he's on the ball, and like literally his eyes are glued. What we're like, he knows consciously what he's doing right there. But look, I don't want to make this nil-nil about the lack of a penalty call. What I will make it about though is some of these players, man. Like Martinelli, right? He got a 6.8 for a half, which means he must have done something right, which he did. I thought he played decent, on the football, things of that nature. Um, the passing wasn't the greatest. Dribbling, 2 out of 3 is good. And the 4 defensive contributions, that's really and truly why this man plays so much. And he's had times where he's not on form scoring or anything, but he'll still play because you get that shift out of him every single time in terms of the defensive output, or work rate. So 2 tired fullbacks going into the San Siro now. Ben White, Timber played 2 games back to back. Gabriel and Saliba the same. Raya, would you play Raya in the next Champions League game? Because I wouldn't. I probably won't even make him travel. And the same old midfield again. So Arteta, come to the front of the class, sir. What more often know? Martinelli never have it. So I'm gonna get it. You bring Trossard on half time, right? Then you make a triple sub on 57 minutes. Very early for you actually to have 4 subs going out to your 5 so early in the second half. I guess you didn't like what you were seeing. So you take off the captain Odegaard, and I'm saying, all right, Ezra, come on. Mikel Merino comes on. I'm nothing against Mikel Merino. Actually like him. I'm usually defending Mikel Merino against others that slander him. But for me, the game was dying out for that player that's just gonna do something off the cuff. Something that you can't even predict. Just unpredictable. Boom, boom, boom. 1-2. Chance created at least. Maybe not a goal right away, but just a new injection of something. But no, he went with the Merino earlier on. Now he did bring Eze on eventually in the 79th minute. At that point, Merino kind of dropped back to where Rice would have been, and Eze was playing more where Odegaard was when he came off. But comes on the 78th, 79th minute, and just not enough time to influence the game at that point. So yeah, it was very, very I don't know, man. This game was strange because first half, Martinelli get the easiest goal on him left foot. I think it's in the thumbnail. That play, he should have buried that, right? Buried it. Yeah, the one big chance had to be the Martinelli chance, bro. There's no way it's another one than that. The shot map. Should have scored that too. Martinelli alone did that play. Yeah, this is it right here. Left footed. 0.22. I don't know how. All is well, giving thanks, although a little burn from losing to a TNT team in a final at Florida Classic tournament over 60. However, there was redemption as the over 55 one. All right, that is it. Something get one. Something won. Yeah, man. Glad you had a great time, Jagans. I'm a love how make father time beat you out, you still get your reps in on the pitch. We love that. Arsenal disappointing again. Yeah, man. Very, very, very disappointing, Apache. Very. Very, 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 very. One of the time, I wonder if Odegaard had play coach a coward there, man, as it should have started. Yeah. So look, I just want the coach to keep the same energy. Like if a player, and he actually did in this case because the triple sub at 57 was definitely like nobody can tell me I'm gonna try to win the game, yeah. But even in trying to be proactive in the timing of his subs, it was still some sterile subs, right? Because, okay, here's the thing. Gyökeres having a stinker, right? What was Gyökeres having issues with the most? The two damn centre backs and them strength. No, what Jesus got against them, brother, there, honestly. But I'm going to give him the benefit because what Jesus could do differently is really take them out of position more. Drop deeper, drop even wider, drop anything. But his movement might cause more problems than the brute force. So maybe that's why he was going with that. But even still, right? Madueke for soccer, we get it. Starboy, I'm going to come on eventually for Madueke. So I wasn't surprised by that. But the Mikel Merino one, bro. Mikel Merino will play a forward pass. But in order for him to play a forward pass, he would have to it's like the picture has to be so clear. It's like a wide open pass. He's not going to try to split anything. Eze will lose the ball, yes, but he's going to attempt a pass that if it comes off, puts us in a great chance to score a goal. People forget Eze played the pass to Martinelli in that game. One of the easiest tap-ins that Gyökeres get this season is Eze was on the left and played the pass to him. So I just feel like I think the argument was, okay, he messed up against Aston Villa. That's Eze, right? Didn't track Matty Cash at the back stick. But you know what people don't talk about in that whole thing? That Eze was playing left wing in that game, right? And the main reason why he was playing left wing in that game was because he was on good form. So the coach didn't want to necessarily drop him. But his son was back. The club captain was back. So he had a dilemma. What do I do? So he decided to put Eze on the left in that game against Aston Villa away. And after that goal was scored on him late in the first half, he was yanked at halftime right away. Merino and Eze off, Gyökeres and Trossard on. So that is how that one ended up. But Odegaard, not too long back from injury, I don't think. He played the whole entire game. So sometimes it's just preference, man, and the coach just loves a player. And I think that is the case with Odegaard. Yeah, so he started the Brentford game. Odegaard. Before this. So he had just come back, played 33 minutes, then played 90 minutes in the Prem, and then the Villa game he started again. But no, Eze had to be moved to accommodate the big man. Hmm. 4 goals in the Premier League. Wow. All right, let me see what the chat has say. Didn't saw the game, but what you think Arsenal should have done differently to get the win this week? All right, so there's a few things, right? So for one, when you look at Arsenal's defense, right? Everybody knows we have a great defense. We have a really good defense. We have a great defense, basically. Everybody knows this. The problem is the coach will not allow the defenders to defend. The man would rather them not have anything to do the entire game. And the way him do that is by making sure when we win the ball back, we don't lose it right away. We keep it. If that means going backwards to Raya, all the way back, starting over, we'll do that over and over again. But keep the control of the football. You keep control of the football game. that is Arteta's thinking. But the problem with that is it basically doesn't allow him to trust any players that are going to take risk on the football. So a player like Bruno couldn't even play for Arteta. He wouldn't even, which is ridiculous. If we had Bruno, this man would start Odegaard over Bruno. And I just feel like at some point, we have to be able to trust the back line enough to put the amount of bodies forward we need to, and not be so shy about going forward. Like, how many times have you seen Arsenal clips where it says, look at how fast Arsenal defenders got back in transition? Why can't we see any players of Arsenal doing a counter and going so fast? That has to be instruction then, because we know that they can move fast enough as a team to get the defense back. Why isn't that the case when they're on attacking? It don't make sense. So it must be instruction. Must. And that's how we win the game instead of draw the game. We take more risks on the football. We take more risks with the substitution. They were not in the football game so much. They had a decent spell to the second half, but they never really troubled us so much. I think they had one shot on target, I think. Maybe none, right? And when you make this triple sub, yeah, Odegaard is playing crap, but sacrifice one of your more holding players. Take Zubimendi off and bring on Eze, and then you play Rice central in the 6, and you play with Odegaard and Eze. Why not? Creativity overload. It's Nottingham Forest. Sean Dyche is Forest at that. I don't know, man. Try something. Jesus comes on, Gyökeres has to come off. Why they can't play together? Try that. I don't know, man. It's just so predictable. And anybody on his team that might take away from the predictability, he want banished to the bench. But yeah, what we could have done differently in the game is be more brave with the subs. Kudos is baby steps. He made them. That's like been a problem for us. He don't make subs at the right time, or definitely not proactive with his subs. I thought he was more proactive with the triple change, but for me, I'm giving Eze and Odegaard a chance to play together for a spell, just to see if that one extra creator, does something, in terms of chance creation. You never know. If it don't work after 10 minutes, then hook Odegaard then. That's fine. But I don't know, man. It's just so predictable. And his changes are predictable, and then so become Arsenal's play. Because, it's like a script that they follow every time. So, yeah. Yeah, Apache. Rice, Odegaard, and Eze, bro. Try it. You're playing against low block. You're playing against a team that literally doesn't spring to life attacking-wise until them win the ball. Them not caring about the attack until them win the ball. So what if they did take the risk, like you mentioned, and lost the game, though? I could live with it. And then people could say, well, that's why you're on YouTube with a show and you're not sitting on Arsenal's bench coaching them, and that's fine. But that's my opinion. I feel like against a team that's not offering anything going forward, you've held them down for the entire game, take the risk of playing two creators with a number 6 in a game where they're basically conceding the midfield to you. Basically, they had certain spells where they weren't, but for large chunks of the game, they were just conceding the midfield to us. And it was just a line-breaking pass that would make them get even further up the pitch. It wasn't necessarily like a bunch of combination in the midfield moving the ball forward. No. So, yeah. I mean, what if my auntie had different parts? She would be my uncle, you can play the what if game all day long. Man say him would live with it. Don't know what actually mean by that. No, I'm saying if we lost the game 1-0 due to the fact that he made some attacking subs in the 57th minute and changed the balance of the midfield a bit, and we end up conceding because of that, then I can live with that. Like me personally, if we had dropped points, 0 points and not 1, and you could point to the fact that he made subs that made the midfield more attacking, then I would say kudos to this man, because I have labeled him a coward since the season start. The tactics at Liverpool, the tactics versus City when we played them, in a bunch of games, I just think he's been too cowardly. And him scared of him shadow. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So yeah, I just mean that I don't want him to be so afraid. You know, go and win the league. Don't just, you know, dude up your way to the title, you know. Somebody was saying I shouldn't be like that because I haven't won in so long. I should just, however we win. And if we win by 1 point, we win by 30 points, it shouldn't matter. Which is probably true, because at the end of the day, I just want to know, say we did win. But let me be greedy, man. Damn. Hopefully what I just said, Gigs, clear up what I meant by that. You know? Hopefully. All right. Wolves and Newcastle, another 0-0. I don't know why Newcastle can't score a goal outside of St. James Park, but they struggle. Yeah, Wolves was all right. But Newcastle just not doing enough. Not doing enough. I mean, they probably did enough to kind of get something more than a draw, but it wasn't that great from them. Indiana win, Miami cover the spread. I don't know. Should I take Miami plus 7.5? 2 shots on target. Entries. Who will eat more for Castle? But Wolves, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 games unbeaten or some madness like that. Wolves are going good, man. Comparatively. Yeah, man. Draw, win, draw, draw. So 3 draws and a win in the last 4. And if you count all comps, 2 wins, 3 draws in 5. So yeah, probably the best, definitely the best spell so far in the Premier League this season for Wolves. They them gone 6 points now. And that's in the last 4 games. I think the previous 18 before that, then we'd gone about 2. Yo, it's a madness. It's a madness, I tell you. But Newcastle will be kicking themselves, you know. But they'll also say to themselves, with all that possession, all them passes, all of that, we should be getting more than 2 shots on target. Literally, them and Wolves are the same amount on target, which is mad. Because they had much more time in the attacking third. Look at the passes. 196 attempted in the final third to 74. That's crazy. Wolves make sure kick some long ball too. This was the other shocker of the week, and another mad take in the press conference from the coach. Not sure if it's just me, but it sounds like you saying 0 points is better than 1. There's something to be said for like the psychology of it all. Like, I can't take my psychology points and put on the table. But sometimes in the long run, the statement that you make based on your decisions tactically can just instill confidence in your team. You know, it's kind of like when they say, when a coach is up 2-0 and it's the 75th minute, and him decide, say, you know what, let me just, not so early, like 85th minute, and it's 2-1 maybe. And them say, let me put on an next center back. It's not like the team on the field saying, John will start, the coach think we're going to concede if we not bring on a defender. But what they will say, whether they speak it, they'll think it. They'll say, listen, the coach wants us set up shop now. So if you notice, when an extra defender come on, automatically the team's backline drop like 5 yards. Like, I don't know if that's ever been statistically proven, but that's based on my eye test from watching a lot of football. Whenever another defender come on the field, I can bet you that the defensive line starting position automatically going to be deeper, closer to them goalkeeper, or closer to the goal line. Sorry. So it's about the mentality that you instill in gigs. Obviously, I wouldn't want us to make those attacking changes and not win. But since you made a rhetorical scenario where we wouldn't win, I am telling you why I think it would still be beneficial to have that result happen and do what I am saying. Instill that you believe in your damn player them to the point where you are going to abandon your safety first principle and just go for it for once. Show them that you actually believe that they can go for it. That's what I'm saying. That's why we always look like we're limping to the finish line, because of the way the man instilling in them players them. Even Roger did say it the other year. We knew when they had a chance to win the league and they come to our yard and park the bus and play this way, when they play everybody else this way and they play us this way, we knew we had a chance to walk them down. What I want to ask Roger though is, this year when you came to the Emirates and you parked the bus, what did that? Am I supposed to say that you can't walk us down this year because you came to the Emirates and parked the bus? No, sometimes you have to use pragmatism, and it's the order of the day. But even if you're the most pragmatic in the world, you must be able to realize in a game that, all that's missing is more creativity. We can really make better chances and make chances. But the man decided to play it safe. Marino is a better defensive midfielder. Not that he was coming on to play defensive midfield, but he is better in terms of what midfielders do off the ball, without the ball, out of possession. He's a better player than Eze out of possession. But we have the possession advantage, and the other team is sitting off of us, so we're going to have the ball more. So put on the player that's going to influence the game more from that position. And for me, it has to be Eze. Has to. Marino's strength would have come from set piece, which again, Arteta, I try to argue that they don't play for these set pieces, but boy, sometimes it looks like we must be, because we make subs based on that, or we keep players on based on we want them set piece delivery, because Declan Rice was dead from the exertions at Chelsea the week before and this game. He was done, but he had to stay on because he's the control man. He's the cheat code in the midfield that's going to run down everything. So, yeah, that's my rant. Let me move on to this damn game. Aston Villa and Everton. Aston Villa lose at Villa Park, and in a cruel fate, the player that they just got rid of, Daniel Marlin, goes to Roma, starts and scores on a day when they lose John McGinn early, and Gassan is the only first team option really on the bench. So in that starting role, in that forward attacking role, so he has to come on, and they're just stretched too thin right now, Torres and Martinez both at fault for the goal scored by Barry. Torres makes a inexplicable, can't even explain it. I don't know how I think it just hit on his plant leg. He was looking up and just lost track of where the ball was, bounced off his foot and went into the direction of Dwight McNeil, who got the start. Took a decent enough shot, but it was a good height. It was kind of close to Martinez, and he just couldn't hold it. He fell on the ground, it popped out. Barry was alert, got to it, and instead of going low, which I think Martinez would have saved, he had a deft chip to the far post, and Kanza almost cleared it off the line, but couldn't quite get to it. And that made it 1-0. And of course, as expected, Aston Villa ended off the game. Well, not ended, but right after they got scored and they went crazy with the chances and just tempo and everything. But they couldn't really sustain it. And Emery couldn't make his trademark, 78, 88 minute, even 75, even around the 73-minute mark. I would like to think that one of these players would have been an attacking player coming on for, Buendia. But he just didn't have the numbers, doesn't have the people. They see all the people them out. Emmy was a doubt for the game, but he played. Maybe he shouldn't have, but he did play. But yeah, they have some really good players out. I don't know why Harvey Elliott can't play. It's saying he's out, but I don't know. He must have got injured playing U21s or something. Rogers having probably his worst game since he's kind of been on this crazy spell. But he had a good run before having one of these ugly numbers for his rating. Tielemans played he played some wicked ball, brother. I'm telling you. But Garner, I think there's some decent little some decent midfielders coming up, I like James Garner. I like Alex Scott from Bournemouth. And who's the other one? James Garner, Alex Scott, Adam Ward from Palace. There's another one though. Adam Ward from Palace. Soon come to me. But that might be all of them. But they're all, 24 and under English. So not bad. For England at least. Grealish was getting booed and whistled, which was kind of weird because he got them a lot of money when he got sold, and they have invested it pretty well. I was kind of surprised that they took that stance with him. But hey, fans need a villain, But yeah, basically, Unai Emery, to me, was the biggest talking point after this game. The man basically said to the reporter that him not see them in the top 5. Him not see them in the top 5. That's crazy. The man said there's definitely 5 more teams with higher potential than them. So him not see them in the top 5 at the end. He say, yeah, right now, we are there right now. But I don't see us being there later. I was like, damn. So I think he's pissed off as well. Because I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, all right, Marlon was kind of a hybrid, not quite a striker, not quite, that narrow, wide player that you want to actually use. He's either an out and out wide forward or winger, or he's a number 9 or like a false 9. I mean, that to me is like his best areas, and I would say I would lean more towards like the false 9 style personally. But I don't know, man. Losing, like, in the last couple seasons, they've had Diaby there, Bailey there, of course on loan, Rashford and Asensio, and these are all players that are now gone. And now add Marlon to the list. So 5 attackers just not there anymore, whether loan, sold, they're just not there. And every week I look and I say, damn, they could really use at least 1 or 2 of those people that they don't have anymore. Just based on, and I guess sometimes it just don't work out. Like, they probably were thinking Harvey Elliott would be a part of that rotation attacking wise. He hasn't done well. So yeah, it's gonna be difficult for them with the size of the squad, and I think they're back in Europe this week again, and we're back to Premier League. So it's really no rest for them, and I don't see the squad there to really rotate. So they must have to make it work, I wouldn't be surprised if Aston Villa have a few more injuries before the season is over, because I do think that the players are playing too much. Most of the ones that play, the first teamers, I should say. But Everton with a big scalp, man, 1-0. And we'll soon get to the table to see what all these results mean. And of course, we're going to do the Gooner TV score prediction table reveal as well. So we're almost there, people. Whoever is still with me, we greatly appreciate it. Make sure you're smashing the like button. And if you're watching this back on the replay, the like still work then. And be sure to leave a comment in the comment section if you have anything you want to discuss about the weekend's action. All right. So this one was actually in the poll as one of the best games for the weekend. I thought it was a really good watch today. Bournemouth on the road going to the Amex to face Brighton. And both teams had one big chance. Brighton did outshoot them 17-11. But yeah, second half is really theirs. First half was really Bournemouth's. I think it was really a tale of two halves. And based on that, I think a 1-1 was probably a fair result. You see the expected goals really close as well. Shots on target. Okay. 5-2 in favor of Brighton. One big chance, one missed. One big chance missed. Wait a second. Oh, this supposed to say 0. But it said one big chance. This is confusing. It's a typo. Dual percentage. Brighton entries. Brighton dominate that as well. 25 more. Duals. Okay. 70 long pass. Wow. Bournemouth goes direct. Tavernier having a good season, Not a bad season at all. I remember a game in CL when Barcelona was leading and chose to go out attacking and end up losing the game, even though Arsenal was playing against a team that is lower than them in the league. Yeah, but we weren't even winning though. That's the thing. The match was drawing. Safe to say that since Villa regular midfielder's injury makes the team look like a different team. Yeah, look, I think, but I've said that all along. Like in the run when they had those 11 wins, I think what I consider the key pieces were all available. And the way how Villa play, if you notice, when they have everybody available, regularly, Emmerich rotates his midfield because they do a lot of work the way they play. So that's why, like, Onana, Kamara, they probably went down because as the squad gets thinner and you start to lose players here and there, you have to play more minutes, more games, more in a shorter time frame of recovery, and that's when the injuries start to kick in. So yeah, that was my main concern for them, like, and why I never really said, Villa is coming at us and everything. Like, I just didn't see it being sustainable just based on, like, it's too many games and you just have to have the biggest luck. I mean, it's possible, but yeah, I don't know, brother. I don't know, brother. But for sure, the regular midfielders being out is not helping them at all. All right, let's get out of this and let's move to the Premier League table. Actually, before we do that, let's reveal the let us reveal the week 22 table. So this does not make for pleasant viewing. I'm just gonna warn you from now. This doesn't make for pleasant viewing, people, but it is what it is, man. This is this is how this one turned up. So people, we have on the screen week 22 table. JGTV, I feel ashamed to even win a title with this record, but I was 3-7 with one correct game. I did call the West Ham 2-1 victory. But somehow, some way, of all the folks that did this week, I was the only one with 3 wins. That is crazy. The next best was a bunch of people with 2-8, but only one of them, Jagarns, did pick one game correctly. He picked the 2-1 Sunderland over Crystal Palace win, and that got him by virtue of that into second alone. And then there's a big logjam with 5 people with 2-8 with no correct scores. And that only left 2 players that played this week on the list still. And let's see who they be. Hot Chili and Moss Sports World. My 2 brethren, them so sad to say it had to be you both. 1-9 with 1 correct score. Chile, 2-1 Sunderland Crystal Palace look to be a favorite of everyone because both you and Moss and Jagarns and that's it. You 3 had that game correct. Yeah, that's a different one. Yeah, you 3 had this game correct and only 1-9 on the week. But hey, that one was important. Too bad that you had to tie. So you both get the hee-haw donkey of the week. So, people, big up Pristine in that building where you deal with. Yeah, man, you were one of those in the 2-8 crowd, you know? Big up yourself. From what I noticed with this Villa manager, he got standard. If he feels like a player not at the standard he wants for the team, he just quit to send them on them way. You know, DJ Giggs, I know he does that for real, you know. But I think what's pissing him off is he can't be like that and then the team turn around and sell players him don't want to sell at the same time too. Because he was pissed that Jacob Ramsey got sold. I know Marlon wasn't his favorite, but he's looking at his options and saying, yo, this guy was my first option off the bench most times. I might not love the player, but bro, replace him then. You see me? So let's see if them give him some players because we don't know how long Kamara out, we don't know how long Onana out, but if them two are out for any substantial time, he's gonna need players, bro. He's gonna need reinforcements. If McGinn is out now, look like him hurt him knee, yes, they're not gonna be able to survive. I'm just gonna keep on dropping and losing points, and you know it's not gonna be good. All right, let's see what's next on the docket. So got the reveal out the way. Champion is myself. I feel bad about my win though. It's not the best win. I got to be honest. Feel like crap about it. But hey, a win is a win is a win, them say. All right, so let me check the Fantasy Premier League. I'm even ashamed to show what I did this week, and I dropped in everything. It was a terrible week, people. But hey, we have to let people know that we can persevere. So I have to show you when we're down, and then the comeback is even more excellent. All right. So we dropped down to 15th in one league. That's no good. Somehow I'm in first, second, and first in all the others, but this one in 15th, you know, really shit the bed. I was on top of this league. Now about what 60, 70 behind, something like that. So it's not over. It's not over. But we have some work to do for sure. King of Jamaica, I'm sure my league got cut down. Yep, I'm only 12 up on Reason, but wow, so Reason Boss only got 30. So I guess this week was just a tough week. Still leading mine by a good bit. Demo probably looking like, yep, I'm gonna walk you down now. Have him by 60 yard right now though. And my sports world. Okay, so I didn't do that much damage to my life. But yeah, it looks like most of these people around me had shitty weeks too. Sports DTM. Okay, I'm only up by 10 in this one. All right, so I'm gonna get serious. Yeah, so look, people, we have to really do better work than this, man. It's not good enough. In my draft leagues, probably the same old crap as well. Let's see. I probably lost my matchup in Masters League because I lose every matchup every week. But I want to go. All right. Any day now you can open. Here we go. Yep. L. How me know? Always a L. How you see the game? Fixtures. No, not those fixtures. Yeah, fixed. Oh no. So how do you? Okay, results. 29 points. My worst week. And this is when I played this person with 34. And I still lose to 34. Bombo. -1. At least I never bench anybody that did good. Just a poor week, man. Only person gave me points, extra points, was Palmer Cucurella. I think Rice must have got defensive contribution points. How the hell did he get so much points? Yeah. Oh, clean sheet. So Cunha come on, get an assist. Wow, Palmer got defensive contribution points. I didn't think he would be possible of doing that. He'd be capable. Good work. All right, so that was a L. With the way down in a eighth position and that horrible. Um, this one, I mean, I only had 15 points. Wow, that is the worst week I think I've ever had. 0 points in my back line. Nunez was injured and I never even know it. Capie looked like he was coming back. It gone to worse. Mirror. 1-1-1. Yo, this, I mean, just couldn't have a worse week than this. Like, this is literally the worst week. Crystal ball, not working. Fourth position all of a sudden. I was winning this like 4 weeks ago, you know. So yeah, I need to shape up, bro. I need to shape up. I need to really wake up and shape up. You see me? But yeah, let's look at the Premier League table and then we're out of here, you know? Wolves can't lose a game. But they would have loved to have won instead of drew. They're still 14 points from safety, so it ain't looking good. Burnley, 14 points, now 8 points from safety. And West Ham, 7 points from safety after their 3 points. Forest was able to get a draw, so they were able to at least stay a little bit away from those in the relegation zone. But with Leeds winning, that was a big win for them. They're now 8 points clear of the drop. Bournemouth in 15th after their draw, 27 points. Spurs with 2 losses on the bounce, all the way down to 14th and 27 as well. Crystal Palace, 28 points. They're in 13th. I think that this second half of the season, they're safe. I don't think they'll, be threatened by getting relegated, but I don't see them getting back into this top 10, especially some of the moves they've had to make. Glasner being somewhat checked out as well. I could see them struggling in the second half. Brighton is a team that seem to always be right there on the cusp, but they will need to put together a string of wins. I think that's the main issue with them. They don't really get back-to-back victories. They usually win, draw a few, lose a game, win, draw, win. They need a run of games where they're winning. If they can do that, I think they will threaten the European places. Fulham in 11th position, they are on 31 points. Everton 10th, 32 points. Sunderland, Newcastle, and Brentford all on 33. But Sunderland in 9th with a 0-goal difference. Newcastle 5-goal difference, and Brentford also a 5-goal difference, but they have the most goals scored out of the 3 teams. So they're in 7th. 6th place, Chelsea, after their win of up to 34 points. Manchester United, unbeaten in 5. They are on 35 points in 5th position. Liverpool, by virtue of their draw, moved 1 ahead of United on 36 points, still in 4th place in the league. And Aston Villa and City both losing, so stuck on 43 points, as Arsenal only able to get a draw up to 50 points. Now a 7-point gap over the next closest teams, Man City and Aston Villa. So we will return next weekend. As you can see, the matches for match week 23: West Ham, Sunderland, Burnley, Tottenham, Fulham, Brighton, Man City, Wolves, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Arsenal, and Manchester United, the match of the day on Sunday. And then Monday, January 26th, Everton and Leeds battle. So that is the early preview of next weekend's fixtures. We will be here on the Friday night to give you the full preview show where we discuss all 10 games, try to predict them better than we did this week, and then we return Monday night for the full review show, just like we did this week. So people, I want to say maximum respect to those of you that stuck around the entire program. You are legends. Those of you who passed through to drop a like, you're also legendary, because the likes help every single time. And also, anyone else that is watching this one on the replay, please do me that favor. Smash the like button while you're watching, share the content, and definitely, to increase engagement, just put a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the show. Tell me your take on something I said, or just give me a random take from what you saw this weekend in the Premier League. Again, I want to appreciate each and every one of you that just watched the show, didn't say a word. That's fine by me. Also, those of you that did participate, we appreciate you as well. All right, so please and thanks again for all the support. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And you see this cannon thing right here, Arsenal? It's supposed to shoot. Please fill it up with ammo and bust it. Bless.